Hello, hello. Let me see if anybody's gonna come. Give everybody a minute. Well, I mean, I'm sure somebody's gonna come at some point today, right? Uh, Probably not the best time to be talking about. You wanna come on, Mike? What's up, Groovy? How you doing, buddy? You're gonna get to hear me do some crap Hebrew because I'm a bad Jew. Can you hear me? Is my mic working? All right. Oh, Sheen. Groovy. Yeah. Confirmation hearings. I can't watch them. Hey, Jinx. How are you? All right. Let's go. So yesterday morning, as Todd Brick and I were sitting after the stream, the confrontational stream, we had a good conversation, and Todd mentioned he wanted to go over Habakkuk. And so I thought I would do a little comparative literature here, and then he can restream this and do whatever. So what I'm going to do is attempt to read Habakkuk in Hebrew first, then go to the King James Version, then go to a very well done academic translation of the Tanakh and an explanation of Habakkuk. It's a short book, so it won't take that long. So let's get started. I'll do the attempted reading here. So Hamasa Aser Hazah Habakkuk Hanabi. Gotta scroll. Adonai Meshiach Siwa T Wilo Tisma Izakileka Hamas Wilo Tawasia. Lama Tarini Awin Wiamal Tabit Wisad Wa Hamas Lenegdi Wehi Rib Umatown Yisa. Sorry, I have it way zoomed in, so a lot of scrolling. I'll can to pug Taurah we lo yesi lanasa mispat ki rasa maktir et hasadiki akin yisi mispat miuqual. Ryu Bagawiyim Wihadi Bitu Wihitam Mihu Timahu ki pual puel bimakim lo ta'aminu ki yisupar. Ki hani mikim, not miquim, et hakasidim hago hamar, we hanim har, aho lek lemir habe eris, lereset miskanowit lo. Ayom we know ra who miminu mispatao use etau eec, sorry. The I know it's bad. I told you, Groovy, at the beginning. It's horrible. Um, a good. Trying to be a good Southern Jew, you know. Let's see. Verse 8. We qualu minimirim susal we hadiu miziquebe mizebe Arab upasu parasol uparasol mirahauk Yabu Yaopu Kineser Has Lei Coel. Should I write a book called Hebrew Jewigy? Hillbilly Jewigy. I'll be like Vance. Kulacha Lechamas Yabao Migmat Penechim Padimya Weyi Esop Chachal Stebi Shahalud Shalom GMK Shahalud Shalom Boker Tov. Oh no, it's just yes. Trump said you got to deal with hillbilly Hebrew for right now. Yes, Friday school. Shout out to Shabbat and them. Tom gets it. Habakkuk. Peace, Dynamo. But yeah, growing up, I would say Habakkuk. So Bamelekim Yitkalas we Rozizim Zinim Mishhak Lochu Likal Mibsar Yishak We Yisbor Apar We Kilkedah. And if you're listening, Nomad, thank you for what you just sent me, sir. Azhalap Ruha Weya Abor We Asim Zu Kohau Lilohau. Hello, not like hello in the Atad Mikwadem Hashim Elohe, Quidosi, Lo, Meshach, Lemispat, Samto, Weser, Lichawika, Yisadoto. Uh, Peace Dynamo, it says Rico Defendant. It is a from the old school uh, days, chilly days. This was the 100,000 subscriber for y'all know who. That his name just left my head. Dadgummit. Hate that crap. You think Todd's Jewy senses are tingling? Team Skeptic. Good grief, I couldn't remember it. And I was sitting here looking at his thinking Discord. My papa was president of the Teamsters in Atlanta for a long time. Sorry about the sirens. I live right by a hospital. All right. But verse 13. It's hard for me to do verses because, yes, sir, Trump said he was an awesome guy. He was too short to join any service during World War II, so he became a truck driver. Tihar Inyam Meraout Rawi Hobbit. Not like a hobbit. El Amal Lo to call Lamach Hobbit Baudem Taharis Bibala Rasa Sadiq Mem Menu. So you are not having a stroke, Cap. No strokes. What to say? Adam. I can say that one pretty good. Adam. Kij Yam. Kerames Lo Moso Bow. Lo Moso Ball. Kolak. Bekhak. Hilal. Yegahu Behermal. Wiach Aspehu. Bimak Marto. Alkin Yisma. Wiagdil. 16. Hey, Oklahoma. Alkin Yisechba. Lechermo. Wikater. Lechmik Marto. Ki. Bachmebach. Samin. Helko. Oh, I got a little bit of strep throat too, so this is I'm gonna have to blow up a Lysol bomb on my computer after this. Umaklo Berka. Hahal Kin Yarik Hirmo. Witamid Laharag Goim. Oh no, Goim. I said Goim. Lo Yahmal. Amismariti Ermodach Wheat we et Yasba al Masor Waasap Waasapa Lirot Idaberbi Umach Asib al Taukati. All right, that's chapter one. So, yeah, I'm practicing my Mandarin, Tom. That's exactly it. You know me, down with OPP. So I'll break it down word for word after I read through. I'm going to read it in English and definitely conversational Mandarin. I, I would guarantee you nobody in Israel would understand my Hebrew. Look, I tried to find a reading of it, but it does help me practice with it does help me practice my Hebrew a little bit more. Only practice it when I'm praying and reading. So I'm gonna go through chapter one and why am I doing it this way? Just do this. Any music fans in here? Marianne Faithful died today. She was 78. Uh-oh. I don't know why I did it that way. So no Marianne Faithful fans in here. When are going to get a dumb to set up behind? Oh, a dummy. I can say that will probably never happen. I could build a 4x4 cross. I That's what I used to keep my gear on. I just throw my gear over the cross, and put my helmet on it. Oh, I'll play a short. You always got to be asking for a friend, though. Let's see. What about me trying to speak in my go away, Paul? Okay. Let me zoom. A zoom. I always just uh, reach straight for the books and not think about. Okay, here we go with the King James version. Uh, though I do not agree with the New Testament, y'all know y'all know that I that the old is it's a good translation, and I like the way the language flows. So the burden which Habakkuk the prophet did see, O Lord, how long shall I cry and thou wilt not hear? Even cry out unto thee of violence. Let's see. And thou wilt not save. So Habakkuk is having his existential crisis. He's crying out to God that Judah at this time is extremely violent. Um, it's become a lawless land, and Habakkuk's begging God, yelling out to God. He's not yelling out to the people as other prophets would. His struggle was with God. Um, Why dost thou show me iniquity and cause me to behold grievance? For spoiling and violence are before me, and there are that raise up strife and contention. Before the law is slacked, and judgment doth never go forth, for the wicked doth compass about the righteous. Therefore, wrong judgment proceedeth. Behold ye among the heathen, and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will not work in your days, which you will not believe, though it be told you. You forgot to say in Minecraft. Ah, thank you, Tom. Let's see. For lo, I raise up the Chaldeans, a wicked people, violent people, that bitter and hasty nation which shall march through the breadth of the land to possess the dwelling places that are not theirs. They are terrible and dreadful. Their judgment and their dignity shall proceed of themselves. Their horses are swifter than the leopards, and are more fierce than the evening wolves. And their horsemen shall spread themselves, and their horsemen shall come from far. They shall fly as eagles that hasteth to eat. They shall come all for violence. Their faces shall sup up the east wind, and they shall gather the captivity as the sand. And they shall scoff at the kings, and the princes shall be a scorn unto them. They shall deride every stronghold, for they shall heap up dust and take it. Then shall his mind change, and he shall pass over and offend, imputing his power unto his God. Art there not from everlasting, O Lord my God, my Holy One? We shall not die. O Lord, thou hast ordained them for judgment, and O mighty God, thou hast established them for correction. Thou art of purer eyes and than to behold evil, and canst look on iniquity. Wherefore lookest thou upon them that deal treacherously, and holdest thy tongue, when the wicked devoureth the man that is more righteous than he? And he maketh men and the fishes of the sea as the creeping things that have no ruler over them. They shall take up all of them with any angle and catch them. Angel, sorry. They catch them in their net. Angle. Again. Sorry, I always do that. It's a dyslexic thing. Um, and gather them, and they're dragged. Therefore, they rejoice and are glad. Therefore, they sacrifice unto their net and burn incense and drag, because by them their portion is fat and their meat is plenteous. Shall they therefore empty their net and not spare continually to slay nations? So, um, you see, Habakkuk is begging God to uh, have Israel turn from their violent and wicked ways that Judah got into, and none of the north was mentioned, right? It was just Judea. Um, and and God deals heavily with us. It's not because we're a stiff-necked and stubborn people, which we are, but you know, he deals heavily with us because we were commanded to be a light to the nations, right? And not become, and it's individuals. It's not the whole of the nation. That's what I was trying to get through to Todd. Is, if the rulers turn evil, then uh, evil is brought upon the whole of the nation because of the leaders. Um, Lots of people think Habakkuk is a prophecy for our time now, uh, as the world. And if it is, it's the world that would be coming after Israel, right? And yeah, and you do see that, right? You need another Exodus. The last Exodus was obviously the liberation of the concentration camps, and then um, we came back to our homeland. Most of us did. My family was in the states before they fled Tsarist Russia. Let's see. I know this is all boring, kind of boring, heavy subject stuff. Let's see. So I'm gonna break down just some of the. Hey, Mr. Carey, some of this. Let me stop this one. This book that I've read from in the past. If you're just coming in, if you wouldn't mind, do a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit of Monica by my. All right. Um, so we're gonna start in verse 2 here. So, where were y'all hanging out before? Over at Finkel's? I heard there was some exciting times over there. Um, I was asleep, so let's go to this is the Hebrew Bible translation with commentary. It's a 3 volume set. It's it's the books of Moses, the prophets, and the writings. Um, I use it to study all the time. It's an academic, not a religious person. And it's been well respected by both rabbis and Christians alike. So I just wanted y'all to know that it's a kind of a neutral third party. Uh, oh yeah, Jean Stephanie, because of the what he said about Donald possibly being a drug addict and possibly being killed. I mean, you throw you throw words out there and people don't hear the possiblies, right? And oh, it's let me give you the full title and who it's by. Oh, so this oh, I'm trying to show you. So it's the Hebrew Bible, a translation with commentary by Robert Alter. So this is just one book. This is the prophets. Habakkuk starts in page 1332. So let this okay. I don't want to do it that way. I'll do it this way. So how long, O Lord? These initial words are of complaint are borrowed directly from the Psalms of supplication. So you go back to David, right? This is written more in the way of Psalms, the poetic nature of it. I know I butchered the Hebrew, but it is more poetic. You look upon, this is the set meaning of the verb, but it is possibly that here it is used unusually in a casual sense. You have made me look. So because um, Habakkuk was not speaking directly to God or angels, Habakkuk was having dreams just as Joseph did. The Chaldeans. These are the Babylonians. There are some Chaldeans left over northern Iraq. The harsh heading, the Hebrew uses internal rhyme as well as an alliteration. Marwin Marwin in Imhar. Imhar. I can't do the H's very well. From him, his rule and his majesty come forth. Although the gist of this clause is clearly that the Chaldeans are an imposing and powerful nation, the wording of the Hebrew is a little obscure, and this translation replicates the grammatical structure of the original. The wolves of the steppes, while the Hebrew might appear to say the wolves of evening, as I read it, right? In this context, Erev probably is a shortened and poetic form of Arava step. Huh. Okay. That would make sense. But I mean, the wolves do come out in the evening. Erev is evening after the sun is already down. So devastation. The Hebrew megamah appears here only here, and its meaning is uncertain. Some scholars have linked it with rabbinic root GMM, which means to cut. And thus, it might have something to do with the destruction. The likelihood of such a meaning is reinforced by the parallelism. Modern Hebrew drawing on the different understanding of the term uses megamach to mean direction or tendency. 10. Oshin, did you get the title now? So the reference is to ramps built of earth that were used to assault and to besiege a city. Attributes on in verse 11. Um, the Masoteric text reads, "We Achim guilty as the Qumran Pesher Habakkuk shows, the more likely is Wayasim." I guess I need to drink something. My throat is not working for the Hebrew now. It's starting to hurt. Whoa. Let's see. Are you not of the old, O Lord? The prophet, just having mentioned the false god of the Chaldeans, now invokes the eternity of the God of Israel. I don't like that he. I don't like it when people write God and we. So I say Hashim when people write YWHW because just out of respect. Oh, Kelly, he's not interested in me anymore. Remember, you shall not die. The Masoteric text shows we shall not die, but this is tikkun sophrim, a euphemistic scribal correction, so as to eliminate the necessity of saying God shall not die, when all know that death is not a category that applies to God. Yes, Tom, yes. And it's not a so Ashkenazi, we're a little bit more strict than say the Sephardics. Uh, some will write the name, uh, but I was always raised that writing it out uh, creates a idol, right? Um, yeah, Kelly. Last night. Well, it's because it says you should not make of clay or uh, I mean, heck, for thousands of years, people wouldn't even say it, right? But yeah, it's just considered making a false idol, just like. But it's not like I'm fully observant. I'll work tonight, you know. and I'm not even supposed to cause something to work uh after sundown tonight until sundown tomorrow, but I do. Hey, Mr. Carey, uh luckily, since I'm not a rabbi, my youngest likes to hang out in cemeteries. We walk around and read and clean up gravestones and stuff. So, well, Peace Dynamo. Some of you newer guys may not know, but so my dad converted, and he is a strict fundamentalist Baptist. I was raised in if any of y'all know the 19 Kids and Counting, the Quiverful movement, and all of that, that homeschool program, the Institute of Basic Life Principles, which was a very severe cult. I was in it. Um, so yeah, but and I had some issues, so I was with my grandparents a lot. Uh, it wasn't behavioral issues. I wasn't in trouble or anything. It was uh, and so I went to synagogue on Friday, did Shabbat, did shul and everything, and then Sundays and Wednesdays I was in independent Baptist cult churches. So that's why t- I'm doing Bible study in the here. um, so yeah, that's uh, that's how that's how I can argue Christian text and understand that it's wrong. And and if y'all think I'm country um, reading Hebrew, you should have heard my great grandfather. Man, his prayers were awesome. He was more fluent than I, but I loved it. I loved it. I can still hear it now. Uh, so man, that's a good memory. All right, that's it. You make humankind like the fish of the sea. The prophet now launches an extended metaphor of fish caught in a net to convey the helplessness of humanity in the face of the forces of destruction that God unleashes in history. Yeah, we all do. Peace Dynamo. It's I enjoy sharing mine. Um, so so when I get accused of hating the Goya, um, it makes me laugh a whole lot. So that have no ruler. The fish might seem to differ from human communities, which have kings to offer them a modicum of protection from predatory nations, while the fish have no monarchy, government, or army to parry the ensnaring nets of fishermen. But in the end, that is the plight of humans as well. I mean, I guess the great white would be the kings of the sea, right? Or orcas, and then black tip sharks or tiger sharks that can friggin' swim up into the into freshwater are the soldiers. They're the special ops of therefore he sacrifices to his net. It is unclear whether this reflects any actual cultic practice of ancient fishermen or is merely a poetic hyperbole. In any case, it picks up attributes his might to his God from the verse 11. Yeah, so Jesus had the plan, abracadabra. Wow, two things that kind of compete with Judaism, right? You got something brought out of the Muslim world and out of the Christian world. I will say Jesus was hijacked. I I don't believe he would like the standard Christian way. Um, One thing I grew up on was communion with grape juice and unleavened bread. So communion, right? I'm not even gonna get into transubstantiation and that being a cultic practice. I end up losing people because of it. Uh, Unsheathed his sword. The received text has his net, hermo, but the Qumran Pesher Habukkuk reads Harbo, his sword. This is more likely because the verb yarik is one used for unsheathing swords, and the second verset is concerned with slaying nations, not with catching fish. The error in transcription probably occurred when a scribe inadvertently reproduced a word from the fish metaphor here in concluding line, which actually moves from the metaphor to its referent. Well, I do. I like bidets. L. Ron Hubbard had a plan. Hell, Xenu. Yes, yes. So let's see. That's that. No, I think we can all learn from each other. I just I just argue it always theologically, right? Sometimes I get mad when people I talk to want me taken away and stuff like that. Trying to estimate the pre-tear. Well, I mean, yeah, you would have to estimate it for each person and have a pile for each person. I think. Isn't that the way it should go? Um oh, I was doing another. Yeah, I mean, I can we can do study on the Quran. That's been my goal, right? I have Lao Tzu. We did all of the Tao Te Ching. Um, I'm. It's not religion, but philosophy. Hey, hey, bitchy woman. Woohoo, bitchy woman. Thank you, thank you. It is a beautiful Shabbat coming up. Got to get some candles out, get some bread out. Uh, what was the other thing I'm reading? Oh, Seneca letters to Lucius. So I'm not a asshole about what we study. Where is it? Sorry, I'm trying to find. This short. Yeah, stuff. The stuff coming out of Qumran is interesting. Um, and the Gnostics are very we're very a very interesting group, to say the least. The lesson of Habakkuk. This is my Jewish learning. If you want to follow, uh, Jewish Learning Institute's another good one. Um, I sat among thousands of Muslims in Chicago. They prayed to Allah and read from the Quran. Hey, I look, the prayers, the call to prayer and the prayers, I think are beautiful. Um, people criticize for saying Allah Allahu Akbar, um, saying God is great is no. And I'm on Bing on here. I have to run freaking Bing and stuff for work. So that's where this one was. Thank you. Thank you, Trump said. I think the things you do for veterans and dogs is a great thing, sir. All right. Ooh, that needs to be. An American burger. Oops. Honey for Rosh Hashanah. Dagnam being, yeah. That I had to start using it since my promotion this week. I will pick your book out with you, woman. I'll do it. Twins, which is twins. Um, you want me to read "Go to Fucks to Sleep"? I'll borrow it from Jeff. Truth, truth indeed, truth indeed. Trump said. All right. So, according to an old rabbinic tradition, Talmud, Megillah 31a, two alternative readings are recorded for Shavuot. Habakkuk is so we have our readings from Habakkuk tonight, right? Is the Haftarah, prophetic reading to be read in conjunction with Deuteronomy 16. You shall count off 7 weeks, whereas the chariot, Merkabah, account in Ezekiel 1 is to be recited with Exodus 19 on the third new moon. The Talmudic passages continues, but now that there are 2 days of the festival, we do both sets of readings, but in reverse sequence. That is, Ezekiel 1 and its Torah portion are read on the first day of Shabbat, Habakkuk 3, and its portion on the second. What's he doing now, Wyatt? I thought he had calmed down a little bit. Commenting on the Talmudic reference to the Habakkuk selection, Rashi, the medieval commentator, says, "For it speaks of the giving of the Torah. God comes from Teman, Habakkuk 3:3, with the giving of the Torah." In this explanation, Rashi follows the Targum and an old midrashic tradition. But in his commentary, the biblical verse itself, Rashi goes further. He alludes to a tradition whereby God went to the other nations to see if they would accept the Torah, but they refused. Significantly, the homilies make their point through exegetical use of Habakkuk 3:6. When he stands, he measures, moted the earth. When he glances, he unlooses Bayater nations. According to Midrash, Leviticus or Rabbah 23:2. Yeah. I mean, again, don't worry. I know I went after his throat the other night, but we ended up having another 6-hour conversation after. So I hit him when he needs to be hit. Not literally, but God took the measure of the mountains, found only Sinai worthy for the revelation. And he took the measure of the earth and found only the land of Israel worthy for his people. He thereupon gave the Israelites a dispensation or a heter with respect to the other nations, and permitted the nations, a certain leniency in their ritual life. According to another version, God took the measure of the nations to see if they would accept the teachings of Torah, but this unloosed the nations and caused them to jump back, yatter, in rejection. Midrash, Mekhilta de Rabbi Ishmael Bo Hadesh 5. So this is where we get the L traditions, right? So if you remember your Bible, you had El Elyon, the Lord Most High. You had El Shaddai. You had many El cults. Well, El is El Elohim is our God, the God on high. And he is the father of the other Els. Baal is part of El, Moloch, Baal. So all of these religions and all of their gods drew out from El, and El brought was trying to bring the Torah, and all the others rejected the Torah except for this. And this is mysticism, right? This is Jewish mysticism. This isn't um, this isn't straight religion. You got to study the Jewish mysticism to get this. So anyway, I could go off on a tangent on that too. Uh, Habakkuk 3 does prove central in ancient homilies, attempting to explain or justify why Israel alone received God's revelation. In one view, Israel was singled out because of its special worthiness. On the other, the revelation was offered to all nations, but the responsibilities demanded by it caused the other peoples to withdraw. An intermediate position has Israel cower in fear as well. But then God raises Sinai over their heads and threatens them with death if they do not accept the Torah. Talmud, Obadiah Zara 2b. For all its mythic concreteness and irony, this midrash penetrates an aspect of the rabbinical understanding of the mystery of Israel. For it teaches that Torah is Israel's sacred destiny and the source of its national spiritual life. This truth is reconfirmed on the festival of Shavuot. When the community of Israel stands before the spiritual reality of Sinai and renews it in these years. Habakkuk 3:2. So that's kind of a explanation of why the revelation was given to Habakkuk, um, and a little bit of the mysticism behind it. But with the blessing of God uh, for the Israeli people, as I said in the beginning, um, there's responsibility to be a light to the world. Um, we do not uh, we do not normally evangelize. It's not looked upon as good that I go out and try to explain why we do what we do. Um, but conversion has not been a big thing for Israel. Um, but even Job was not a Jew by birth. Israel, Job was a Noahide Jew. He only had to follow the 7 laws, Noahide laws. Um, so conversion is a process, and it's not an easy process. It takes up to 2 years to convert. Uh, yes, yeah, Mr. Carey, it is. I mean, and it's not a people think that, oh, we're the chosen people, so we get automatic pass. But if you're not trying to live by the mitzvot, you trying to. I try to be a righteous person, but I still work on the Sabbath. I do things that I know are not holy to God, but I also know that I have a personal relationship, and I follow the usual laws that most people know about. Right? I don't eat pork. I don't eat shellfish. Um, The meats I eat have to be specially. I go to the nearest Orthodox synagogue, so I have to drive an hour and a half. I could go to my Reform synagogue that I can walk to. Absolutely, Trump said that's absolutely the truth. I think this country has lost the ability to do that. Right, listen to opposing opinions and have a mature conversation about it. So, uh, well, Trump said um, too tribal. Yeah, I hope he's got Israel's back, but I don't like that. As soon as he took office and Gaza started, Hamas started releasing hostages, U.S. private security contractors started taking over the security of the West Bank. So I think that's I mean, trying to corporatize it instead of having Jewish and Arab peacekeepers. So yeah, well, you get people peace dynamo. You get people who people. So once they hear a little kernel, right, they they shut down and uh start trying to figure out their response. So um so that shuts down conversation real quick. Let me see. Where was that other one? This is gonna screw me all up because I'm used to having my tabs in yeah, okay. Found it. Where I usually have it. Google. People. When you brothers gotta eat. I think I was having I think I was talking to Todd and Brick actually that what I think Trump is doing is trying to build a generational wealth for him and his family. I mean, using the presidency, uh, he needs to stop feeding that kid of his. That dude's tall as hell. I need some of that height. All right, one more, and I'll let you guys escape. Well, GMK, when it comes to politicians, right? I heard a comedian once say, "Hey, Freddie." Uh, I mean, um, Eating fish is fine. You just can't eat. We just can't eat shellfish. They're bugs. Let's see. Golly, it's an hour and 10 minutes. I thought this was gonna be like 15 minutes, but as always, my brain takes us other places, right? Oh, but I heard this comedian say that presidents are selected, not elected. They all come from the king suits, so it's whoever's less kingy. You're never going to get a three of diamonds as a president. Do I have to, Cap? No, I don't want to read anything from him. All right, let's get this one done. I don't. I mean, I'd have to read what the rabbis say about it. Peace, Dynamo. Whether, well, I mean, when it came to preserving the people, he did drop the requirement from time to time. Not with Paul, um, but that's just that. I mean, Paul is a interesting character to say the least. My chair's sinking down. Time for a new chair. All right. Let me share. Absolutely, peace, Dynamo. You, do- you don't cook pork correctly, you wipe out a whole family. Yeah, and especially back then. Well, I do have pillows for my lumbar. Last night it felt like right in between where I had the fusion, it was just going to rip out of my back. Um, so time to have my neck surgery, I think. All right, here we go. Damn, no way that's going to zoom good enough. Let's see. It's just going to be weird. Here, let me drop myself. Hey, my grandma used to have to use phone books. She was only 4'9". Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. All right, peace, Dynamo. Good to see you, Freddie. Love you, brother. Uh, let's see. I don't like it this way. Can't see anything because of this tab. Yeah. I'm gonna drop this. Do y'all mind just hearing me read? Shalom, Dale. Shalom. We're gonna do it this way. I gotta look at my mug and so Habakkuk, uh some Akkadians say it Habakkuk. Weird. A fragrant, it means a fragrant herb. And anytime I read herb, I think of Herb from WKRP. You're all good, Dale. I didn't. It was like 15 minutes prior when I put the. What's up, Joey? Yeah, he's been on his gaming channel for a few minutes. Wyatt. I mean, over an hour. Uh, since we've been here, an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, I'm sorry. Well, Misty, my so this is on my mom's side. My pawpaw was 5 feet tall, even, and so um, and so my mom is 4'10". My dad's 6'2". I was the tallest of my siblings. When I joined the army, I was 5'10". Uh, Jumping out of planes a lot, not just a few jumps, and then get hurt. Uh, with my knees and my spine, everything. After my fusion, I got back up to 5'8". So yeah, I had two doctor's appointments this week, Dale, and they increased two of my medications, and I felt like I was tweaking. So let's see. So Habakkuk, he was a hey Joey. I had a so I got moved out of I've got promoted out of safety into business operations. So I was gone from the southeast companies to the overall company, but the VP is a former Marine, and he said to us managers to go ourselves and sweep out the dust in our rigging bays. So yeah, it's been interesting for me too. You see where I'm sitting? I'm still at home. So all right. Habakkuk uh, was a prophet at the time of the Chaldeans, ascent to power in the early 7th century. That's before the current era. A time apparently after the Egyptian defeat of Carchemish in Jeremiah 46:2, and Hamath when the Babylonian forces under Nebuchadnezzar occupied the area. Well, be safe, Joey. The Book of Habakkuk is the eighth unit within the Book of Terah Asar, or the 12, and consistently follows Nahum in all textual witnesses. Habakkuk contains only 3 chapters, totaling 56 verses. We've covered 17 today, and is traditionally divided into 2 parts according to the content: the narrative of chapters 1 and 2, and prayer of chapter 3. Ah, shit. We have the narrative. Um, and prayer. Hey, Tammy. Uh, in many places, the text is either enigmatic or corrupt. The Pesher Habakkuk from Qumran comments only on the first 2 chapters of our biblical book, thus supporting the view that the 3rd chapter was not part of the original book. Oh man, was it a? It was a 59. Was it a flathead 6? Let's see. Sorry, I lost my place. I didn't put my. Okay. GMK. I do not know. I know it's just I mean, just the name Finkel, and then he's got another channel. So yeah. So when my papa was trying to join the military during World War II, they told him to go join the Boy Scouts. Um, he was not happy about that. So anyway. The narrative consists of a series of 5 short prophetic utterances. The first 1, 2 through 4 is a complaint reminiscent of Jeremiah 12, 1 through 2, and much of the book of Job against God for allowing violence and injustice to prevail unchecked in the land. One of the great theological problems in biblical thought. The second utterance, 1, 5 through 12, is the divine oracle prophesying that the instrument of judgment, the Chaldeans, is near at hand. The depiction of the Chaldeans is ambivalent and its precise sense is debated. On the one hand, the Chaldeans are God's instrument. On the other hand, their description fits the typical biblical description of the enemy. Deuteronomy 28:49 through 53, Isaiah 5:26 through 30, Jeremiah 4:13, 5:17, 5:15 through 17, and 6:22 to 23. Thank you. Thank you, brother. In 110, the prophet speaks of the Chaldeans' power in language usually reserved for describing the power of God. And they scoff at kings and princes, are a derision of them, who brings princes to naught and makes the rulers of the earth as nothing. Isaiah 40:23. And in the last words of verse 11, guilty men whose own might is their God It is written, he makes his own might to be his God. Thus, that's from the Quran text, is how it was translated. He makes his own might to be his own God. Thus, the instrument of justice is none other than the wicked enemy. The ambivalent description of the Chaldeans and the reiteration of the original question about divine justice have brought scholars to conclude that the Chaldeans, are not the answer to the prophet's complaint, but a heightened form of the complaint. When he speaks of the injustice in the world, Habakkuk is referring to the Chaldeans and their deeds. Like others who ask why the unjust thrive, Habakkuk relates the question to a specific historical situation. The third utterance, 1:13 to 17, asks why God allows the wicked to devour the righteous. To which the fourth utterance, 2:1 through 5, responds. Eventually the wicked shall fail, but the righteous shall live by their faithfulness. The first biblical appearance of Kez, or end, in its apocalyptic sense, is in Habakkuk. And subsequently in the Bible, this usage is found exclusively in Daniel 8:19, 11:13, 27, 35, 12, 4 to 13. That would be funny to see, Freddie. Indeed, Daniel 10:14 looks like a fulfillment of Habakkuk 2:3. The fifth utterance takes the form of five parables that begin with the woe to him and stresses the punishment that the wicked will receive. Some of the parables are found differently in other places of the Bible. For example, Isaiah 14:51 and Jeremiah 22:13, which indicates their popularity among the people of Judah. The fifth parable contrasts idols, brilliant, brilliant, brilliantly ornamented. See, I can't even do English. So, but utterly lifeless and dumb to the divine glory of God, which strikes the whole world dumb. The prayer, comprising chapter 3, is divided into four sections: 3, 1 to 2, 3 to 7, 8 to 15, and 16:19. Excuse me, sorry. The second and third sections recalling God's deeds, and the first and fourth constituting the essence of the prayer. Most scholars hold that chapter 3 was not part of the original book of Habakkuk and bears no connection to the first two chapters. Other scholars, however, believe the entire book to be a single continuous literary piece. And that's the way I read it, as is a single continuous literary piece. Um, instead of uh, broken up into chapters. And view chapter 3, which describes the punishment of the wicked, as a response to the question raised in chapter 1. The prayer opens with, upon Shiganoth 3:1. The term Sigion also occurs in the rubric of Psalm 7:1, where we're talking about it follows the course of the psalm. excuse me, and is probably borrowed from the Akkadian Sigu lamentation type of prayer. The clothing and the manner of psalms for the leader of string music, La Laminza Big B Neganatai, or the lamentation song, seems to be introducing introduction to another composition now lost in a spirit that similar to that found in the beginning of the blessing of Moses, the song of Deborah, and Psalm 77. The prophet entreats the return of God's compassion. The prayer cites as a precedent of God's action at the time of creation, Isaiah 51:9, Habakkuk 3:2. Just as in other poetry in the Bible and in Ugaritic and Mesopotamian sources, the creator God had to fight off the forces of chaos such as the sea, Habakkuk 3:8 and 9. 444. Oh, yeah, it does. Thank you. Thank you, Trump said. It is a defensive posture. I'm sorry. You are absolutely correct. Thank you. Thank you for the correction. Uh yeah, I did. I haven't been looking back at the audience either. I getting too far into the text. Freaking tisms and shit. But it's all God. Good. All God. Mm. Somebody just must have gotten a Hellcat. They're revving their engines right outside. Uh get the target of stealing their Mesopotamian sources. References to historical battles combined with mythic ones. The sun and moon are personified, and the ancient plague god Re- Reshef brings pestilence. So this goes back kind of what I was talking about El Elohim being the God Most High, right? And there were the other gods that were created that were sent to try to bring uh, Torah to the other nations, and they were rejected. And so then people ended up worshiping those gods. Um, so there may have been reference to the horn god Habi, known from Ugaritic texts in Habakkuk 3:4, the historical past. God delivered his people from and his anointed one, smiting the wicked, laying him bare from thigh to neck. That'd be a bad way to go. Um, After recounting the past, the prophet looks to the future and prays, "May I be relieved on the day of trouble when the Chaldean people invade with their troops." 3:16. Habakkuk concludes by describing the effects of drought, 3:17, a symbol of evil, but nevertheless his hope and faith. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will exult in the God of my salvation. So because he's getting the revelation right, he begged God for something to turn Judea around from their violence, their Hamas. I wanted to bring that up, by the way. Um, So Hamas is violence. Uh, and that's not the only form of violence in Hebrew. The other word. And hang on. Anyway, I don't want to look it up right now, but it's violence for a cause. There's a cause for violence. The violence that um, Habakkuk was praying about that was being committed by Judea at the time, and he was praying for deliverance from it, was violence for violence sake. That is Hamas. Hamas is violence for violence sake. I just want to drive that home. That name was chosen for a reason. Sorry, I almost went on my political stump. uh After recounting the past, the prophet looks. You know what? I'm going to get on the political stump a moment. Joey, yeah, I mean, what when you see people supporting and wearing the green bandana over their keffiyeh or shema, um, it sends a message. Um, Being pro Palestine is fine, but Hamas has gotten their stranglehold uh, into Palestine so much. Um, Spending as much time in the Middle East as I did fighting, and people accusing me of war crimes for putting missiles. I joke about putting missiles in weddings because there was a high value target in the card deck there. Um, Terrorists do terrorist things. I remember targeting. There was a hospital uh, with artillery all around it, with ammo all around it. I watched them move the ammo in for weeks. Um, Before the war kicked off, we were doing, when we were doing surveillance, and I knew what was going to happen. And they were, and and they were loading the hospital up with kids as well. Um, so going after terrorists is a dirty business, and uh, I hate that there was loss, and I know that it will take the Palestinian people to run Hamas out, just like it'll take Lebanon to run Hezbollah out, and attacks will continue in Israel against Israelis and against Arab Israelis. Remember, there are Arab Israelis in Israel. That's what they live for. Um, Kicking them out of the country isn't going to change anything. If Egypt and Jordan said, "Okay, we'll take them," uh, it would just cause more attacks because um, you know, and one thing that Israel pulled out of the West Bank. Um, we went as far as digging up our uh, our cemeteries in the West Bank and repatriating the bodies. Um, and that was a hard thing, right? Um, but we left it alone. Um, and I again, it's a tragedy, but I'm not going to be pro Hamas. Never. When they take a name that is violence for violence sake, and I know the rumors about how Hamas was funded, how it was started to counter the PLO, and then turned on its creator. We'll see, but I just wanted to say, that's the only way for peace is for the Palestinians to run we'll call it third party actors out of the West Bank and in Gaza, and everybody can live peacefully as one can. Um, so that's it. Okay. Ooh, that was pretty heavy, um, but I think it needed to be said here so people can hear it. I mean, more than the few that watch it. I know others it picks up watching at night. So anyway, so after recounting the past, the prophet looks to the future and prays. Yes, advocating for peace wherever we go. That is the truth. Um, and prays, may I be relieved on the day of trouble when the Chaldean people invade with their troops. 316. Habakkuk concludes by describing the effects of drought. A symbol of evil, but nevertheless his hope and faith. Yet I will rejoice in the Lord. I will exult in the God of my salvation. The language of Habakkuk, in general, and especially in the two middle sections of the prayer, is vigorous and rich and abounds in ancient poetic and rhetorical forms, of which synagogue and that I saw GOUS and went straight to synagogues. Analogous analogous examples appear in early biblical poetry. Blessings of Moses, Song of Deborah. It occasionally resembles Ugaritic poetry in construction, and at times also in the use of rhetoric, as in the use of climatic parallelism in 3:2 8:13. What's up, Sean? The better spelled Sean from my Sean. And archaic diction. Linguistic features that once argued for a late dating of the book, such as the absence of the definite article, might also be taken as signs of antiquity. According to Cedar, not Sam Cedar, Seder, Olam Rabbah 20, Habakkuk lived at the time of Manasseh, 692 to 642 before the current era. Critical scholars now contend that he lived in the time of Jehoiakim, 608 to 598 before the current era. And some place him earlier at the end of Josiah's reign, 639 to 609, when the Assyrian kingdom was destroyed. However, Kaufman dates the prayer to the brief reign of Jehoiachin, Jehoiakim, in 597. The hypothesis of Duhm, not Dumb, that the word caused them, or for the Chaldeans, is to be emended to Kittim, and that it refers to the campaigns of Alexander the Great, has not been found acceptable. The Dead Sea Scrolls show that as early as the time of the Second Temple, the word Chaldeans was interpreted as referring to the Roman campaigns in the Orient in the 60s of the first century before the current era. According to legend, Habakkuk was the son of a Shunammite woman, Zohar 1:7 to 44 to 45. This identification is apparently based on his name, where the verb HBQ, habik, to embrace, is employed in connection with the annunciation of the birth of the woman's son, 2 Kings 4:16. In the apocryphal story of Baal and the dragon, which tells of Daniel's exploits against Babylonian idolatry, Habakkuk is presented as a contemporary of Daniel, probably because both mention the arrival of the Chaldeans. Habakkuk 1:6 and Daniel 1:1. In the same story, he is considered to be the son of Jeshua the Levite, Bel 1. In the same story, he is considered to be the same son of Jeshua the Levite. This reference is apparently to the Levite family called Jeshua, which is mentioned in Ezra 2:40. According to Rabbi Simlai, second generation Amora, Habakkuk based all the 613 commandments received by Moses on the single principle that the righteous shall live by his faith. Habakkuk 2:4 and Maccabees 23b to 24a. This may be the response to the Christian use of the verse by Paul as proof of text for the doctrine of justification by faith rather than by works. Romans 1:17 to and Galatians 3:11. So there's a little bit of background too on Habakkuk. Um, 6.5 hours. I thought he was on Finkel's earlier. Does anybody have any questions, comments, boredom, requests? Oh, so he was sniping other people's content and not saying anything on his channel? Like he complains about my 5 minutes of his channel of a 3.5 hour stream. I'm interested in knowing your questions on the information you covered today. Yeah, I want to know your questions about what I covered today. Lupe really gave it to him. I love Lupe. She is how did I start on YouTube? Um how far back do you go with did you ever watch Josh Fine Fix Phoenix, Bronze Stars and NJPs? Um so I came before Hefe Jeff on that. It was oh so Fine Fix Finish or now Stone Vets. Um I started there uh, on the blue bacon stuff. Never mind. What? So, and then I had some PTSD issues. I was gone for almost a year, and I came back on Fine Fix Finish, and I wanted to do something that was a little more serious, addressing veterans issues, and then I encountered Todd, and I wanted to add. You came. You came on fall 23, like the whole season. You glazed it up, and then so, and I didn't start really on my own channel. Yep, Brady on Stone Vet. Uh, so Ned is Greg Brady was a nickname somebody gave me on Stone Vets. Ned is a Todd was trying to make fun of me, saying I look like Ned Flanders. So I've ran with that ever since. I like the I like the nickname. It's kind of short and memorable. So uh, indeed, Trump said, indeed. Right. But you know, it stuck. I like it. I mean, I could go with my childhood nickname of Bubba. I am from the South. and was a chubby kid. You have tattoo questions? Go. What you got? Yours was that was my first call sign, Joey. Everybody said I sounded like Huckleberry Hound. So yeah. Nobody's ever sure, Cap. Oh damn, Joey. Always forget you're a ginger, so well, I got away from being observant, Misty. I didn't start uh back to being observant until Todd, and then he kind of drove me back into it. So I was getting tattoos. I s- I don't get them anymore. I mean, I guess I could do kosher tattoos, but anyway, um, there's good, a lot of good scholarship actually on tattoos and the prohibition. I, I have a rabbi I deal with a lot. He is like neck down tattoos. Um, I don't know, Joey. I have no idea. I just thought of it. I'd go to my rabbi and get a tattoo. So I mean, one could argue that I can't be buried in a Jewish cemetery. Others say that since I have asked forgiveness and, you know, um, living by faith and continuing to live by the mitzvot, I'm good. Uh, my rabbi doesn't have a problem with them. Uh, so I think he would, if I'm still in Atlanta area, then he would do my funeral in a yeah, yeah. Me and God had a big problem after years and years of war. So it is raining. Rain keeps hitting my windows. Well, yeah, I mean, um, we believe the body will be. Oh, sweet, Stephanie Jinks. Thank you for the research. Um, well, see, when I wasn't um, following kosher and all of that, I got my tattoos are from my background as my familial background in Ireland, Scotland, and Norway. So that's why when Coded was asking about a town in Galloway, in Dumfries, Galloway, Scotland, like yeah, go there, go see my cousins. One of those names is my family name. So, oh, misty eyed girl. Me and my brother always got in trouble in the Baptist church because we asked too many questions when we were young. Um, they didn't like the questions we asked because we would go back to the Hebrew and then we'd be like, "Hey, why doesn't why does Paul misquote this or why does Paul misquote that?" I can do a show on just that on the New Testament uh, taking things from the Hebrew Bible out of context, and then things start to make sense. So that I have a very embarrassing one on my back in between my shoulder blades because I was a dummy right after airborne school and I got airborne wings tattooed on my back from shoulder to shoulder. Well, I started in shul when I was a kid, um, doing Hebrew school formerly at shul. That's what So Ashkenazi it does shul, um, same as synagogue, but um, I am I spoke pretty good until three brain injuries later, and certain aspects of my brain are still not 100%. I knew that's what everybody was thinking. I should have I should have just went with that one. Uh so I want to see um I'm going to try to find a picture, and I'll use it as my background tonight, of me at 265 pounds at the end, when I had on my, I think it was my third one, when they had me sleeping um up to 16 hours a day, pumping me full of steroids. So, oh, and guess what I did while I'm doing that. If anybody who claims they can't have a job, they're so disabled that TBI and stuff. Yeah, I want to go. I want to go back and finish, uh, get my PhD in psychology. I mean, I did my BS is so old. It'd probably need Sean, do you want me to do a show on that? There is there is a reason that well, like studying Habakkuk here. Um, God sometimes sends people like the Chaldeans to punish us for not looking to God um, um, all the time. No, you're good. Hey, look, go get a purple crayon, start chewing, and we'll get to. No, no. I taught at Mott's One for a while down in Yuma. Yeah, purple tastes the best. Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. I had to eat crayons with Marines a lot. So, like that. I should have been a Marine. I love the smell of fresh Crayola. Yep, it was a beautiful place, wasn't it, Sean? Yuma is down there, man. Hot and cold in the winter. I was doing air wing stuff, teaching fires from UAVs, calling FAC-A, using drones for FAC-A missions and stuff like that. Um, and then teaching recon and MARSOC guys how to use the remote viewing terminals to call fires and stuff like that. Fun stuff. That that's why I have so many TBIs. Is too many through and through injuries on danger close. You use the okay, so you use the Raven and shit. Hell's Half Acre. Yeah. 310 to humans. Shit. But we can do a whole thing on why the Jews have been hated throughout history. It has to do with a lot to do with our success and people just wanting to take. How long did it take me to learn to fly drones? My initial class was a year long to fly the Hunter medium altitude, long endurance, the male, um, and the rest were just like transition courses, a month or two. Um, the cool thing was I was testing a lot of them. Um, some of them. So here's a lot of why how I got my service time in Israel was they counted. Uh, I can bring it up. Let's see. The Israelis trained me a lot on drones. I got, in fact, that's the most of my training was from them. So I flew over the West Bank and everything else during my training. I was in Tel Aviv. Uh, I stayed at I s- stayed at the Intercontinental Hotel right on the Mediterranean. It was a rough life, you know. Um, yeah, usually there you go, Peace Dynamo. You got it. We had money and kings wanted it. We have money now. So um and the great gifts that God gives us, right? Individuals misuse that. And you know, uh people like Todd will say, "Oh, um you had Epstein and who was the producer brothers that were in so much trouble, the Weinsteins. They use the talents that God gave them for evil, and they are taken out of the roles. They are not. They are not. They will go to Sheol and have hard lessons taught to them. Um, we shall say this is the biggest drone I ever flew. I wrote the training program, the concepts of operations, and the tactical operations manuals for these. They're about as big as a 737, um, 65,000 feet plus. They fly up with the U-2s. Trump said the inter- when I was doing when I was doing strategic capability shit, I lived in the Intercontinental in Kabul. I left there in 10. So yeah, they that's that was not the nicest intercontinental I ever stayed at. That's what I remember these the most of it. That'll give you some scale. Yeah, it's a little bigger than that, Sean. Germans. Cameras. They're strictly a reconnaissance platform. There's cameras, radar. Uh, you can do signals intelligence from it, electronic warfare. Rip. Love you, Freddie. Good shot there. Scale of the wings. See dude standing there. That's a dude. I think that's Gutman. Yep. Only one that looks like that. That's Meyer Gutman. Hell of a pilot and hell of an RC pilot. Damn it, man. No, I can't talk about that. Really. I can't. I can't talk about that. So this guy standing here, um, Meyer, he it, it's probably because he's Jewish, but he's highly allergic to shellfish. And we would go to restaurants, and he would take a handful of Benadryl just so he could eat shellfish. Is it Glock? This can stay up for 55 hours. And you can fly them into denied areas a lot better. Some Massent. See the U2 under it? That is right, Joey. Oh no! Don't look as big in the air. It look. This one looks like a beluga. Going to deliver some caviar. So that's the biggest one. Let's see. Come on, show me. I was gonna show you. Let's see. The hell. Oh no, that's a Rolls Royce jet engine in that one. Glock turbofan. Show you show you one of the ones I used in Central and South America for counter narco. That's not the one I wanted. So this one's a turboprop. Anybody know what that is? Flew this one a lot. We used it. There we go. This is what we used for counter narco. All right, Joey. Laters. Oh, that it was the Israeli Aerospace Industries. So this one doesn't have the maritime patrol radar. We used the maritime patrol radar with SIGINT, ELINT, and then electro optical. Retractable gear. I flew this one on a mission for 56 hours. I napped in the back of the mission control shelter. It's maritime patrol radar there, and oh no, that's the landing gear. You put pods on it, on the wings and on the booms for SIGINT and ELINT. But that's it. Uh, that's a that's a Jewish unmanned space laser. Not really. I don't know what that payload package is. So that's kind of the stuff I played with. That's the bigger stuff. Um, The throw kinds, I use those as little um little cruise missiles. Pack a little bit of C4 in them and uh fly them into windows stuff. We were trying to show the danger of publicly legalizing drones. They used to be controlled under the missile control regime. So, all right, I'm going to end this. I guess everybody's going over to Josh's anyway. I've been going to almost 2.5 hours. So, this one, will the one I just showed will do 55,000 feet, 50,000 feet. I lost the smaller version of this is called the Hunter that I was initially trained on. I lost one over Baghdad from a AA fire and had to go recover it and destroy what we couldn't recover. So yes, you do down there craft recovery even with drones. That was on that was during the invasion when there was still significant military presence from Saddam. So, all right, y'all. Y'all be good. It's been fun. I love it when I just kind of freestyle and interact with you guys. I get more comfortable that way, even though I cross my arms. Thank you, Trump. Oh, somebody's gonna clip me saying thank you, Trump. Oh dang. You gotta edit it. Fats cats, love you anyway. I do. Uh so Marana Air Park. Marana. Yep. Look into the company that used to own it. Air America used to own it. Then another company used to own it. I was put at that company for a little while. I was vice president of helicopters there for reasons. Oh man. Part of Pima Air Museum, Cap, but Marana Air, isn't it Marana Air Park? I don't know. We can talk about it on stream tonight. Y'all be good, and I will see y'all later.